Hey everybody, welcome to episode 15 of the Inspired Knitting Podcast. I am your host Bobby and I am coming to you from the lovely New Brunswick, Canada. I would first like to thank any new viewers who may be tuning into the podcast for the very first time. Welcome. And I would like to welcome back any returning viewers who's tuning in again. Thank you very much. I much appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying the content, and I'm excited again, like I said last week, to be back with you all. So, I hope you guys have all had an awesome week. My week has been great. It's been a little on the busy side, so I didn't get as much knitting done as I had hoped to, but it was still semi-productive, so I'm happy. I got 2 projects done that have kind of been stressing me out for, I would say, a little over a month. I'm going to show those in my finished objects part of the podcast, but yeah, I'm just finally happy to get those done. I had a couple knitting fails this week, so yeah, I will share that again later in the podcast, but anyways, I wanted to record a video this week as I had promised. It's probably going to be a little on the short side, but I do have a fair amount to show, so it should be a good show. Administrative notes first. I just wanted to note the camera. I have decided to use my phone to record the video. I wasn't too happy with the way the podcast turned out last week. I was using my iMac, and it's an older one, so the camera on it ain't as great, and I really didn't like the way that things were being washed out, like the yarn and stuff. It wasn't showing the true colors, and I really didn't like that, so I've opted to try my phone this week, so hopefully it's going to turn out better. So far it appears to be a lot better, so if it does turn out great, then I will use this for the time being. You can leave any comments down below if you like this better or if you prefer the old way. I honestly think this will be the way to go, just because that video doesn't appear to be too good. So anyway, so we're going to try this out for a little while and see how it goes until I can get a better camera or setup, whatever. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first things I'm going to share with you is finished objects. I have 2 of them. My cousin, she lives in Saskatchewan, Canada. She has 2 little cute munchkins, and I think it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, she had asked me to make them some minion hats because they were very much into minions. So I had created those. I think I even had podcasted about them, and I made them 2 little monkeys. Well, they now want some unicorn hats, and I will admit that I love crochet, don't get me wrong, but it was so hard to actually do these 2 projects. I don't know why. I know how to crochet, but my passion is knitting, and it was so hard to pick this project up and work on it, but I did. So yeah, here's the first one. I did a modified pattern here. I went by Lady Behind the Curtain. She has some awesome patterns. I think they're mostly just crochet though, but I followed her pattern and I did like the white hood portion here. She also includes for the ears and the little horn here. Hers is done a lot differently. Her hood looks like this, and it also has like, it looks like little baubles, but they're not. They're just like a treble crochet. Oops, sorry. They're just like a treble crochet that you do for 1 row. It's a free pattern, so I'm not giving anything away. And it has some ribbing here at the edge. She has this portion of the hat. However, here at the bottom, this would turn into like a scarf, come down long, and then have some folded over portions for pockets on each side. And she's got some nice color work for, like, I think she used pink and purple, I think, to do this portion, and she used some detailing for the scarf as well. I did not do that because my cousin wanted to have just the hood, but she wanted it to be extended down. So I just followed the instructions to do the hood portion, and then I just picked up along the bottom and then crocheted however long I thought would work. So pretty much, if you're interested in doing this pattern, it's an awesome pattern. It's very easy to follow, but I just modified it to my liking. I did some braided drawstrings. Sorry, I'm trying to find words. And then I just took, her one little girl likes pink and the other one likes purple. So I took some plain pink yarn and mixed it with some multicolor. So it's got like the pinks and the neon yellow. It looks neon green, but it's neon yellow. There's some blues, and yeah. I still think I'm going to trim this down to make it look neater, but for right now I haven't really touched it. So yeah, that's the first one done. And I made a second one for her other daughter. And I did the same thing. This one, I like how this one turned out better. I don't know why, but yeah, there's that one. And another thing I also did is her ears. I think you join the pink first and then do the outer portion white, but you would see like the pink on the back side. I personally don't like that, so I followed her ear pattern and did the white portion of it to the end, like she says, and fastened off. But then I did the first, I believe it was 2 rows of the purple, and then just bound it off and then sewed it in there just to make it look a little bit more neater. But same pattern. And again, I used a purple, and then I mixed it in with this multicolored yarn. The multicolored yarn is Red Heart Hopscotch. Now, I'm not quite sure what the colorway name is, but it's just like a rainbow of beautiful neon colors. It's so pretty. The purple is Havana's Choice yarn. The yellow is, I don't even remember. It's just something that I had laying around in my stash. And then the white that I used for the hood is Pound of Love, which I believe is Lion Brand. And then I did the tails or the braids in the same thing. I just mixed strands of the purple and the multicolor to do them. So yeah, they are super cute, and I'm glad the way that they turned out. I hope that they like them. My cousin was thrilled by them, so that makes me happy. But yeah, although they turned out great and I'm happy with the finished product, oh my gosh, it was so hard to do. Yeah, I definitely have lost my love of crocheting just a little bit. So that's all I have, unfortunately, for finished objects, but I do have some works in progress. The first one I'm going to share with you guys, I am so excited about. I have been watching Amy of Stranded Yarns. She has the Stranded podcast, Amy Edwards Green, I believe it is. She, like I said last week, has become one of my favorite podcasters. I love her. She's so outgoing and she's so crazy. I just love her. So, yes, and she's super talented at that. She has been on a kick lately of doing colorwork mittens. And colorwork is something that I have tried maybe a couple times, and I did not like the finished product. I don't even think I reached the end of the projects. I think my problem was I was pulling too tight, like my gauge was very tight with it, and it was like cinching up stitches, and I just wasn't happy about it at all, and I wasn't enjoying the process of it either. However, I do love color work projects, and yeah, after seeing these mittens that Amy has been doing, and also Ellie of the Skandir podcast, she does amazing Norwegian designs. I just love this stuff, and I wish I was that talented, but I've decided to bite the bullet and try it, give it a go, and I think that mittens is a good choice. It's not too big of a project, like there's not too many stitches, so yeah, I decided to try it. Amy did a mitten called Norwegian Mittens for Mimi, and it's made with a DK weight yarn. I chose to go with a worsted weight yarn just because I remembered I was so tight with it. I didn't want to make something that was going to be too small. So I went with a worsted weight. Funny thing is, I did the largest size because there's 3 sizes, if I remember correctly. There's a small, there's a medium, and there's a large. I chose to do the large. So yeah, here's what I have so far. And to do this, I chose Patons yarn. It's their classic wool, and I have the ball band here. It's their classic wool, and this one is, okay, the white is Iran, and this beautiful burgundy color is plum heather. So yeah, so beautiful. I have never used the Patons classic wool before, but I went to Michael's to pick up some yarn because I got a couple things that I need to knit up for some people, and I was picking out yarn, and I happened to come across this one, and I felt it, and I was really surprised at how squishy and nice it felt, and it, although it's got that wool feeling, it doesn't feel overly scratchy or rough on the hands. So yeah, I'm very happy about it. So this is what I went with, and I'm glad. I was having a hard time picking out. I knew I wanted the body of the mitten to be white, but they had some pretty colors, like there's a beautiful sandstone color. I love browns. I almost wanted that one. And somebody come to say hello. Hi, Rami. And there's a pretty blue color and green, but I decided to go with this one. This one just kept calling my name, and I'm glad I did. So yeah, that's kind of the flower pattern that's on the front, and then at the back has like this little, I guess it would be like checkered print. So yeah, it is super cute, and I am loving it. Would I recommend this as a beginner project? I'm not sure. There's Rami. Say hi, Rami. Hi. So, would I recommend this as a beginner? I think I would. Amy had mentioned that it might not be a beginner's project just because it doesn't give you like step-by-step instruction on what to do, and this is true. You get like the yarn you should use, you get the gauge, you get the needle size, all that, and you get the chart for the left hand and the right hand, like for the charting for the pattern. However, it doesn't exactly tell you how to increase for the thumb or exactly how to do the top decreasing. So that part confused me. So I will admit I tinked this back maybe 4 times before I figured it out. So I did up the cuff. Now in the pattern there's some different striping options that you can do for the cuff. I chose not to do it. The part I had trouble with is, let me see, where's my starting point? Okay, I guess it would be right here. So the trouble I had was right here at my starting point. Now, this is essentially right where your thumb is eventually going to be. So I was having trouble with it because it says to cast on like 11 stitches for the thumb. Now, I have done some mittens before, but I'm not fully confident on what to do yet or what the construction is. So I wasn't sure. I was like, do I cast these 11 stitches on now, or do I wait till I get further up? Like, how does this work? So eventually I figured out what I was supposed to do, and the patterning started working out the way it should. So I'm happy with that. I realized that you're supposed to increase. Oh, excuse me. You're supposed to increase as you go up the pattern. So yeah, it's just the way that you read you look at the charting, and I just eventually figured out what I was supposed to do and how I was supposed to increase. So hopefully it turns out. I think I figured it out now and I got it. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this. I've been knitting on this all morning. It's like close to 3 in the afternoon now. This is just all I've been wanting to knit on. It's been so much fun. I am a little worried that I'm gonna mess up on it, but that's just my OCD talking. It's a really enjoyable knit, and it's working up rather fast too. So, is it gonna be too big? Probably. I don't know. It might not be. It's fitting fairly well. So maybe it'll be okay. I think it will be. Anyways, I don't care. I love it. It's nice. And I'm enjoying it. Yay, first color work. So again, this is the Norwegian Mittens for Mimi. And it is by Anna Marzella. I hope I got that correctly. I will leave a link in the bottom to the show notes, which you can find on my website at sweetcomfortdesigns.com. And from there you can find links to my Ravelry page, where I will have all this listed, as well as the yarns I've used and the colorways and so on. So yeah, there's one work in progress. Now the next work in progress has been a little baby's blanket. One of my friends had a little girl back in the spring, and I was supposed to knit her or make her a blanket. It's something I wanted to do. Just never happened. I had gotten way too busy and other things got in the way. So I decided to cast on a knitted one. I was going between some crocheted projects, which is my standard. I think I only ever knit one baby blanket. I always say that I've never knit a baby blanket, but I do remember I knit one. I think it was the Vivid by Tin Can Knits. It's a beautiful lace flower square, and then you put them into a baby blanket or any size blanket you want. It's so pretty. So I did do one of them. I didn't want to do that exact pattern again. As much as I loved it, I wanted to do something different. So I decided to cast on the point, Straight to the Point by Yarns Untangled. And I'm just going to grab the bag here. I forgot to show this last week, by the way. We went to the Sackville Farmers Market, which is not too far away from where I live. And there's this lady that was there, and I do not remember her name. She doesn't have a business card or a business name, but she sells the most phenomenal colorwork sweater, guys. She had several of them, and oh my gosh, they were so beautiful. The yarn choices that she was using too was very beautiful. It felt so soft and so nice. I just loved it. She also had some bare yarns. I think one was an alpaca blend, and there was a wool blend as well. I did have my eye on them, but I was a good girl. I didn't buy any. She also had some project bags. Now, project bags is something that I've been wanting to buy lately because I don't have that many. So I saw this one, and it's kind of like a tote bag of sorts, like a purse. And it's this awesome owl pattern, and I love owls. It's got this thick rope-like handles on it. And it comes fully lined, and it even has a pocket inside, which I love it. So yeah, put it down. So yeah, it's a really great bag. I've been doubling this up as a purse lately when I go out, so everything gets dumped into it, but currently it's holding my baby blanket amongst a bunch of other junk. So let's put this back down here for now. So the blanket, I wanted something that was going to be fast, because I was hoping to have this done for Christmas. I'm not going to do that to myself, because I know that's not going to happen with Christmas being so close. Towever, it is knitting up pretty fast. I also wanted something simple, something that was going to be quick to knit. So I chose... Robbie just tried to get up on the desk and fell. What a cat. So I wanted something that was simple and easy, but was still going to keep my interest. So when I looked at this pattern, it is very easy, and she's using colors the way that she used her yarn. It kind of did like a fade. So I looked in my stash, and I had bought 2 balls of Yarn Inspirations Burnette Pop, which looks like this. So it started off with pink, and then it went to purple, and now I'm into this beautiful blue color. So I had 2 skeins of this, so I went with that. And to pair with it, because I wanted to do like the fade, I had this ball of Loops and Threads Kai. It's K-A-I, Kai, not quite sure. This one is in Pink Lemonade, and it's like these beautiful bright yellows and greens and blues, pinks and orange. It's just so pretty. And when I saw the 2 of them, I thought they would go well together for a little girl. So what I'm doing is you start off from the point, and you pretty much knit 2 rows in one of the colors, and then 2 rows in the next, and you just keep doing that, and you're increasing in the center here. So you increase on one side, you have your center stitch, and you increase on the other side, kind of like you would like a shawl. And you just keep increasing out like that until you use up all of the yarn. So how she has her pattern written is, once you run out of your contrasting color, then you just finish off in your main color. So that's what I'm going to do, because I have more yardage in the Burnette than I do the Loops and Threads one. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep increasing out until I run out of this, and then I'll just finish off with the other stuff. So it's turning out rather beautiful. I really am loving the way that it's working up. I just think it is so pretty. I am just loving the way that the colors are going together, and it's so much fun. It's one of those projects where it just knits itself, because you want to get to the next row and the next row and see what colors happen next. It's just a lot of fun and so pretty. I'm using my little leaf stitch marker from Barnyard Knits that I got recently. So yeah, I'm knitting this one with 6mm Nova, These are just my 16-inch interchangeables, and it's a US 10. I ended up getting this Nova set in the 16-inch because I do a lot of hats in that, so I like the 16-inch tip. So, or like the smaller tip, the shorter tip than the regular. I do plan on getting myself another knitting set, like the normal set, and I think I want to go with the Knit Pro, I think they're called Zings. I've seen great reviews on them lately, so I would really love to try them for myself. However, I use these on everything. I really love that they are a little bit shorter. I don't know, I just enjoy these a lot more. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. So yeah, this is fun. It's great to take along in the car and knit with because it's just plain knitting, like it's just plain garter. So yeah, that's fun. So I can't wait to have this one off the needles and finally give it to her. I can't wait to see how it finishes up. I'm so excited about it. So yeah, I've been working on this on and off. I'm not going to stress myself out. I decided, because I've been so stressed with, I have all these projects I want to do and I just want to do them and get them done for Christmas, but I've just decided to calm down and relax. What gets done gets done. Certain things have a higher priority over others, but I'm just not going to stress and freak out anymore. I'm just going to calm down, and just when it gets finished, it gets finished, and then I can send it off and they can enjoy it. So the little girl, she's 7 months old, 8 months old now, so it's not like there's a huge rush, but I still want her to have it in the new year at least. So anyways, that's Straight to the Point by Yarns Untangled, and it is a paid for pattern. I believe I only paid $4 Canadian for it, if I remember correctly. So very fun project. So the next thing I've been working on, this project has been lingering around for 3 years. When I moved from Ontario down here to New Brunswick, I had casted on this cowl, and at the time I saw this cowl and I was so excited about it, and I still am, but I just didn't have my knitting mojo at the time, so it got casted aside, sadly, and I hadn't touched it. But as I was taking things and setting up since we moved here, I rediscovered this project, and I decided that it needed to be put in my project bag so I could work on it, and I am so glad that I did. I put a few rows on this, not too much, but if I had nothing else to work on, or like I said, I had a couple knitting fails this week and I just needed something that was easy and something that I was going to enjoy, this was a project that I picked up. So this is the 3-color cashmere cowl by Joji Locatelli, and this is what I have so far. So I casted this project on 3 years ago, like I said, and if I remember correctly, I had done this portion in the gray first. I did the black portion, and then I'm not sure if you can tell, but it's got like these pretty eyelets. And then I think I had maybe 3 or 4 of these stripes done. So yeah, this is how much I've knitted so far. You're supposed to have 18 stripes in total for this section, and I have completed them now, so I can move on to the next section, which I'm excited about because I think this is where you can put your 3rd color in. So for this project, I went on to loveknitting.com. They are a UK-based yarn store, and I just love buying from them. Her prices are very reasonable. Her shipping is extremely fast, or to me, it's extremely fast and cheap to Canada. I remember it only took maybe a week and a half, if that, to get my order, which I was very surprised at and happy with. But I end up going with the Silk Bloom Fino. It's a BC Garn yarn, and it is 45% mulberry silk and 55% soft merino, super soft merino wool, and it's in a 50-gram ball. So I'm gonna have to refer to my show notes for this one. These do not come in colorway names, or at least not the balls that I got. This is the only ball band that I have, because with the moves that I've done, I've lost the other two. However, this one doesn't really have a colorway name on it. This one's got 06. So I went on to the website, and I was looking at the yarn, so I think I got this correctly. The 06 would be this silver color. Now it is lighter than what it's appearing to be right now. It's just like a silver gray color. So that's my first color. The second color that I chose would be, the names go by IX, so the silver would be IX 00. This color is IX 22, and it's like a charcoal gray. And then my third color, okay, sorry, the silver is IX 14. The IX 00 is my purple, and it's not quite that color. It's more of a, I don't know, it's more like a plummy purple. This is showing it more like a blue tone, and it's not. It's more of a plummy purple. But yeah, I love this yarn, guys. It is so soft and squishy, and I am just loving the silk content of it. Oh my gosh, I just love it. I'm definitely going to get more of this yarn because I absolutely love it. So those are my 3 colors that I chose to go with. Yay! So yeah, I'm glad that I pulled this project back out and I'm working on it, because I so want the finished project, or finished product. So yeah, super excited. Can't wait to have it done. I think there's like a 3-color cashmere shawl as well, so maybe I'll have to get yarn and consider doing that one in the future, because it's a gorgeous pattern. Both of them are. I love it. So yeah, it's just housed in a little project bag that. So yes, that's it for works in progress. My knitting fails, I'll just talk about those quickly. I wanted to do a baby sweater for the same little girl I'm doing the blanket for. It did not work out. It's the Stella sweater by Linden Down. I had gotten this sweater pattern a couple years ago. Super cute. She's got another one, I think it's called Trellis. It's just the yoke of the sweater. They're long sleeve sweaters, and the yoke of them has like this beautiful lace. Now the lace that I'm doing in the Stella is kind of like a diamond or a leaf, whereas the Trellis is like just like these little squiggly lace lines. They're just so pretty. Love it. However, I had problems with this pattern before, and I still am, and I don't know why. I've attempted this sweater 4 times now, and it's not working out for me. I am not that good with charts. I will admit that. I love written pattern. Always have the written instructions is what I always go for. However, there's only certain things that come with charts, and I have done easy charts like with some sock patterns and that, If they're easy, then I have no problem following them. However, if the written instructions are there, I tend to do that. But I'm not 100% certain how to do charts, and I think that's where I keep messing up, because I don't think it's the pattern. People are finishing the project without a problem. I think it's just me not knowing what to do. So she has like a little section to tell you how to knit the chart up. And it's a beautiful pattern. Like the way that she has it written out and the chart, it is perfect. Hi, Rami. But I'm just not understanding it well enough. I look at it, and by the time I get to the end of the row, I have to tink it back because I messed up. And then I think I got it understood, and then it happens again. And I'm like going back to the beginning of my repeat, and I'm making sure I didn't mess up the like the lace, and I didn't. So I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah, this is what I have so far. So this is like the collar of it. It's just a little garter stitch collar, and yeah, there's the lace, which it is very pretty, as you can see. It's a gorgeous little pattern. I just love it. But yeah, I had to set it aside because I worked 3 days pretty much on and off with this, and it just kept messing up, and I was getting frustrated, so I had to put it away. Oh, hello. Hi, baby. So yeah, that was my first knitting fail, and then sorry, and then my second knitting fail was a hat that I wanted to make. One of my friends wanted a gray hat, so we went to Michael's, and it was really funny. He wanted gray. He wanted a darker gray, so we go to Michael's. Michael's was having, I think it was like a 55% coupon that was on, and my boyfriend and I go in, and I'm looking around. Now, I am picky when it comes to yarns that come from like Walmart or Michael's. I am a yarn snob. It has to be soft and not feel rough or scratchy, you know. I don't like that. But anyways, we go in, and I'm feeling all the yarns up, and my boyfriend finds this one yarn, and it was Patton's Canadian, and it's this pretty like dark gray color, and I was really surprised at how soft it felt, so I was like, yeah, that'll work. So I grabbed a different gray as well, just to have two options, and well, my friend ended up picking out the Canadian, the Pattons, and I balled it all up, like I caked it all up. It's this one here. Again, it's a little bit lighter than what you're seeing, but yeah, I caked it up, and I am really happy with that yarn, and I want to go back to Michael's now to see what other colors they have, because it is really, really nice to work with. Now, the hat that I chose, does have cables in it, and one of the things that I always find with some acrylic yarns when working with cables is that it makes your cables really tight. This yarn is so amazing that it does not do that. It's like the yarn flexes, if that makes sense. Like, it stretches nicely, and oh my gosh, I just love it. It was working out beautifully. Problem. It is a 12-row repeat. Well, Bobby cast the hat on. I got the ribbing done for the brim, and instead of doing the written instructions for the body of the hat, I was starting to do the crown decreases, and I didn't realize it until like 4 rows up. I didn't have concentration that day, apparently. So I tinked it all back, and I start anew, well, to the brim part, and it happens again. I am working the body of the hat this time. However, the way that the pattern is written out, you do rows 8 to 12 of like the same row. Well, I wasn't seeing that at first. I didn't see that silly 12. So I was doing just row 8 and then restarting row 1 again. Well, I did the repeat to 8, started again, got back down to the 8, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, where did that 12 come from? So I had to rip it all back out. So I just re-skeined the yarn back up into a nice little cake instead of it being all over. And it's in timeout right now because that was frustrating. The pattern is so nicely written. It is so easy to do. However, I just messed up on it twice and it wasn't working, so I just had to put it away for a couple days, and yeah, I'll probably maybe cast it on later tonight and get the brim done again, or just work on it tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. These mittens are really, they're really taking my interest, so I've been doing a lot of gift knitting and other stuff, so I think maybe just today I'll do something that I want to do, and yeah. So, yeah, that was my fun that I had this week. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I did get some stash enhancement this week. I made a small order with, I think it's Yarn Canada. That's the first time I ever ordered from them. I just got some more Lion Brand yarn, the Heartland. I got some different colors I wanted to try out. Our Michaels does have a good selection, but there was a couple colors that they didn't have that was on this website. So I got that. I got a skein of Cascade 220 as well. That's one of my favorites. And I got another palm, like a fur palm. Yeah, I wanted to see what they were like and try them out. So I just got one of them. And it does look really nice. So yeah, I will probably show that next week in Stash Enhancement, just because the box is like right up there. Yeah, it got put up there because that Nosy here, she loves boxes, especially boxes that have yarn in them. Yeah, so it couldn't sit anywhere on the second shelf. Our second shelf, I'm not sure if you can see, this shelf here has a Christmas tree and the yarn on it. The shelf below it also had yarn on it with my Swift. However, the Swift remains there because she won't touch that, but the yarn that was there, we had to put it as much as we could on that second shelf, and the rest of it has found a new home on the very top shelf, just because she doesn't leave it alone. We've tried to detour her and everything, and it doesn't work. We came home, I think it was last weekend, and she had gotten into a skein, the Vanna's Choice purple actually. She had pulled it right off the shelf, and she did a good job. She had this stuff wound around our kitchen tables and the chair, and oh my gosh. And she took the second ball, because I had bought in 2 balls of it, and she took the other one down to the bedroom. It was under the bed. We discovered that after the fact because she comes walking down the hall with it. And she tried to grab another ball off, and that's when we finally moved everything up. And yeah, it's a lot of fun having a kitten, guys. Yeah. But I wouldn't trade her for anything. I love her so much. But she does love yarn. I was caking up some yarn yesterday, the yarn for the mittens, and yeah, she was getting into that too. My boyfriend came up with this clever idea of having a pot. We just have like a medium-sized pot, and I put it on the floor and put the ball in it, or the skein in it, and then I just run the yarn up to my bow winder, and that way it doesn't go all over the floor and she doesn't chase it. However, she still tries to stick her nose in the pot. Now she'll listen to Daddy. She won't listen to me. I could holler at her and she will not listen. She'll listen to him though. He wasn't here yesterday, so she decided to take off with the ball that I'm trying to wind up. She got it under the kitchen table, but I got it away from her in time. So, yeah. Yeah, she's quite the kitty cat, but she's super adorable. Yeah, I love her. Anyway, guys, so yeah, that's all I got going this week. I'll show that instantiation enhancement next week, if I can remember to bring it down. Last week I actually forgot to share the pom-poms with you, so I will quickly show that to you now, because by next week I'll forget, and she'll have fun with this. So, I'm going to try to find the one that has the business card on it. So, on Facebook, there's a group, Moncton and Surrounding Crafters, and they post like different things that you knit or crochet or sew, whatever, or you make, and you can also go on there and request, can somebody make me this item or whatever, and it's a great little group. So I found this lady here. It's Stitch and Knit. Her name is Vicky Steves from Salisbury, New Brunswick, Canada, which is maybe 15 or 20 minutes from Moncton. And she had posted that she had made some of these wonderful pom-poms, like fur pom-poms. So I decided to buy a lot from her. And I believe she's selling these for $4 a pom-pom, if I remember correctly. So I got 2 white. So there's the other one. And then I got 2 black. So pretty. Don't chew that. And then I got, okay, that's another black. I got this beautiful brown. I think this one's my favorite. I also put that on my cable hat last week that I showed. And there's another one in here. A purple. It's pretty dark. It almost looks black actually, but it's a purple. So pretty. And they're so soft, and oh my gosh. Very happy with those. Oh yeah, I forgot. And then, whoops. There's the gray one that I had on my stovetop hat. So I just got 2 pom-poms each, and you can tell that they vary in size. Hey, you could tell that they vary in size because the white ones actually were the biggest ones of them all, and I think this gray was the smallest. But yes, I really love them. They're very well made, and I do plan on buying some more from her in the future. I do think she has an Etsy. I think. Let me just look at that quick. It actually doesn't say here, but she does family knitting, hand quilting, placemats, table runners, totes, and more. And I've seen some of her knitting projects that she had up for sale. That's why I think she has an Etsy site. I thought I saw it. But yes. Her stuff is pretty amazing. So if you are in New Brunswick, you can follow that group, Moncton and Surrounding Crafters, for some awesome handmade stuff that's local, or just Google in her name, Vicky Steves, and Stitch and Knit, and you might find an Etsy site. Like I said, I can't remember. So anyways, I think I'm going to sign off for now. I've done enough rambling. Again, I hope that this video quality is okay. I really am hoping that it turns out well, and I hope that the audio is okay. It just looks so much better. So if this turns out, this is what we're going to do from now on. So anyways, you can check out all the show notes. I will leave a link down in the description below. sweetcomfortdesigns.com. Had to remember for a minute. I have revamped the website a little bit. Before it was just kind of like in a blog format. Now I am in the process of doing a whole new design. So it got published last week, and unfortunately my show notes and all my previous posts got erased. So I'm going to have to work on that to see if I can get it back. But anyway, I will work on that tonight and hopefully have it finished before this podcast goes live. So Yes. You can add me on Instagram, Bobby Minnick. Yes, Bobby Minnick. I will leave the username down below if you have trouble spelling it. I still have it closed privately, but if you'd like to follow me, I will add you. You can find me on Ravelry as xcountrygirl1986x. And yeah, hope you guys have an awesome week. And until next week, I hope you guys have an awesome weekend and keep warm. I love you guys. Bye.